Hi, I'm Dr. Rahul Bharad. I welcome you all to my series What Life Has Taught Me Yesterday. Today when I'm recording this video is 4th of November 2023. I'll be talking what 3rd of November has taught me in life. In this video series I try to explain and discuss whatever small lessons I'm trying to get from yesterday's life. So yesterday one of the incidents which happened that a baby was examined by me, and the child was having signs and symptoms of dengue fever. Along with that, child's blood reports also were showing the dengue test positive. So I explained to the parents that the baby needs admission and it's better we treat the child after admitting. It is not that every child of dengue fever needs admission, but after clinical examination a doctor should decide is able to decide whether baby needs admission or not. So I told them baby needs admission, but they were not ready. They just refused admission and went home. What lesson I got from yesterday's life from that incident I'll be discussing in this video. So stay tuned till the end of the video to know more about that incident. Most important news I came across yesterday is about ISRO's ambitious mission of landing an Indian on the surface of the moon by the year 2040, that is 2040. From 17 years from now, Narendra Modi Prime Minister has given suggestion that ISRO should plan to land Indian on the surface of the moon. So is it possible to land on the surface of the moon by the year 2040 by India? I'll be discussing that news and what are difficulties in that in this video. Most trending news I came across yesterday is about poor air quality in the big cities of the country like Delhi, Mumbai. There is a lot of air pollution happening right now. It is so much so that the sale of the air purifier to be used in the house and the offices has gone almost to double extent than the previous years. So what is that trending news I'll be discussing in this video. Most important lesson I got from yesterday is from that incident where I advised that child to be admitted for dengue fever. Parents refused. Most of the time parents have their own inertia, have their own thinking about whether the child needs admission or not. But what I think personally, if a person in that field, if you feel that person is capable enough or expert enough, you should follow that person's advice in that field. For example, if I go to a automobile shop or a auto service repairing shop to repair my two-wheeler or four-wheeler, I should not put my mind completely in decision making. If the person who is repairing that car, who is repairing that two-wheeler advises me well enough to do something, and if I am confident of that person, if I am having faith enough on that person, I should follow his or her advice. Similarly, if you are going to a doctor and if the doctor feels that the child needs admission, parents should follow that. If you don't have faith on that doctor, you can ask many questions to that doctor. Doctor will definitely be able to explain to you why the child needs admission. But when you have gone to a hospital, the child is looking sick, you know as a parent that child is looking sick, and blood reports are suggesting that child is suffering from dengue. Even if after that, if doctor tells you to admit the child, and if you don't admit, the child might have complications in future. So doctor can definitely tell you to advise, but cannot force you to admit the child, cannot control your emotions and cannot control your decision. It's up to you as a parent to decide whether to follow that doctor's advice or not, or whether to follow your own ideas. In any sector, whenever we go out of our routine life sector, for example, if I am a doctor and if I go to a sector where there is engineering, there are services, there are automotive things, if I don't know much about that field, it's better I follow advice. Even if financial services also, I would say we should not put too much mind into that unless we are trained enough in that field. If you are not trained enough in a particular field, we should follow an expert's advice. That is the simple message I personally got from that incident The child ultimately got admitted after say almost 12-24 hours of initial advice, and ultimately the treatment was delayed. Now fortunately nothing bad happened, and that child is good, well enough tolerating all the treatments and not going into any complications. But parents have lost initial crucial 12 to 24 hours of treatment. Because of that, the treatment period will be prolonged. The whole process of treatment will start later because of the delay in the decision making of the parents. As a doctor, we see this situation very commonly, but just wanted to share my feelings with you all, that if you are not an expert in that field, please follow any person's expert's advice. I'm not saying you follow my advice or a particular doctor's advice. At least follow a doctor's advice rather than putting your mind if you're not expert in that field. So that was the most important lesson I got from yesterday's live. Most important news I came across yesterday is very interesting. It is, maybe you can say, that follow-up of Chandrayaan 3. On 23rd of August, ISRO successfully landed on the south pole of the surface of the moon, and it was a big success. Whatever experiments were done by the Chandrayaan 3 in the later days. Now our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has advised and suggested that ISRO should plan to land Indian, that is the astronaut, on the surface of the moon by the year 2040, that is 2040. It is 17 years from now that we have a timeline. Now what are the obstacles and difficulties in landing a person on the moon? Is of the big weight we have to carry. With the successful launch of Chandrayaan 3, we know that up to 10,000 kilogram of the weight can be easily carried by that LVM-3, which carried Chandrayaan 3. But to take a person from surface of the earth to the moon, it will have to carry a lot of weight. Almost minimum 1 lakh kg will have to be lifted off. There are many space agencies in the world which are trying to do this. For example, China is planning to lift off almost 2.1 million kilogram of the weight with their space agency. Even SpaceX mission, which is of Elon Musk, is trying to lift off almost 5 million kg. Even Russian space agency Roscosmos is trying to lift off a weight of almost 2 million kg. So India would have to increase the capacity of lifting that weight so that we can plan to send an astronaut on the surface of the moon. Next thing ISRO is famous for is cost effectiveness. Many other countries are doing their research in the space with lot of money expenditure. ISRO is famous for cost effectiveness and for innovations also. So let's hope that ISRO does more and more innovations and reduces the cost of putting a man on the surface of the moon. If at all in future it happens by an Indian, that let's hope that they will have very less cost of doing it, and research needed for that is already going on. Now Gaganyaan mission, we all know, is the next mission by ISRO, and Gaganyaan would be a backbone for the future lunar missions. In Gaganyaan 3 astronauts would be sent for almost 400 kilometer radius around the earth, and they will be staying there for 3 days. After their safe return to the earth, we will have lot of more information about the future lunar planning, lunar landing planning. So let's hope that Gaganyaan mission becomes the foundation of future lunar landing by an Indian in the near future, that is 2040. Most trending news I came across yesterday is about poor air quality. You might have read across this news. This is trending news because Delhi, Mumbai and many other cities in our country are suffering from poor air quality. So much so that even firecrackers would be allowed or not. This is a big question for all the people who want to celebrate Diwali. Already air pollution levels are very high. And one more important thing is that because of that, the sale of the air purifier has actually shooted up. As compared to the previous years, retailers are saying that almost twice the number of air purifiers which were sold previously have been sold this year. How to use air purifier is an important criteria. There are few criteria and points which you must remember. If you are using air purifier, that filter needs to be cleaned with dry cloth and it needs to be replaced almost every 6 months. Then filter alternative methods for changing the filter you have to find out. If you have any problem, you should call up the person who is doing that service and get it done. Otherwise, the quality of air which will come out of that air purifier would not be adequate enough to keep you healthy. Nowadays, many people are preferring to use air purifier in their houses, in their offices. So definitely the future of air purifier is bright, and more people would definitely prefer to use those air purifier. So I'll be sharing link in the description box where you will get more details of air purifiers and how to use it and how to handle those air purifiers and how to clean them, how frequently we should do the service of them. So for today we'll stop here. I hope you people are learning something new from all these videos. If you really are learning something new, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. For today we'll stop here. Bye bye.